And we should be live. Good morning, everybody. This is Brian Cummings with the E-commerce Business School, and this is Saturday Morning Live. I'm here with EBS Certified Master Coach and Trainer, Candida Lillard. Hi, Candida.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looks like you're not calling from your hustle hut.
No, this morning I am calling in from a hotel in Dallas.
And in Dallas, you're going to tell us in a little while what you're doing there, right?
That's right.
Okay, we'll keep everybody in suspense. So I'm hoping that people are rolling in here. I'm going to see if I can get the page open so I can see us. Let's see. And looking for, oh, we got a sound check. That sounds good. So if you're hearing this, go ahead and type in your name and let us know where you're calling from. We'd like to know that you're here and watching.
Good morning, Troy. I see Troy's watching us this morning.
Wonderful. You're faster than I am, Candida, in getting that open.
Morning, Donald. And Donald's watching us from Georgia.
Wonderful. You're faster than I am, Candida. Oh, there we go. Okay, and I see Troy's here. Hi, Troy. Good to see you here. All right, so Candida, what are we talking about today?
We are going to talk a little bit about some wholesaling.
Some wholesaling. And are we also going to talk about your Ungating Mastermind?
Absolutely. We are going to talk about all the fun we have when it comes to ungating.
And ungating requires something that leads into wholesale, doesn't it?
It does. And so that's something that we cover a lot in the class, to kind of get you familiar with what it is Amazon's always looking for from us.
Great. So that ungating is a great way to get started with wholesale. We'll get into more of that in just a moment. I could see more people here. There's Elizabeth and Sue and Amanda and Kevin and Carolyn. Hello, good morning, everybody. Let us know if you're new too. Put that in there if you're brand new to EBS or if you've just joined Peak Performance. We'd like to know. And just one more moment. We are prompt. We'll start right at the top of the hour. Okay, good morning. There's Eugene and Danita. Hey, Danita. Glad you're here. Okay, I think it's time. Let's get started here. Good morning, everybody. This is Saturday Morning Live for e-commerce sellers. I'm Brian Cummings. I'm the Director of Training with the E-commerce Business School. And with us today, this morning, is Master Coach and Trainer Candida Lillard. So Candida, where are you calling from?
I am in Dallas right now.
And tell us why you're in Dallas.
So I flew to Dallas because I have been spending time at the Dallas Market Center opening up wholesale accounts.
All right, it's an exciting thing. And, these trade shows, for the most part, have been closed because of COVID for the past year or so. So is it open full blast going?
Yes, it's open, it's busy, lots of vendors, lots of orders walking out the door.
All right. Boy, that's fun. I wish I was supposed to go to the ASD trade show and we canceled at the last minute. I'm kind of getting antsy myself. Let's welcome new members here. If you're brand new to EBS, again, please say hello in the chat. Let us know that you're here. We want to welcome you to our community. We have a really wonderful and warm and sharing community. I think that if you get involved with us, you're going to be really happy to connect with our members. So if you're here, please let us know. Welcome to you. We talk about the 3 pillars of e-commerce success in every Saturday Morning Live. 3 pillars are to first generate cash flow, to jumpstart your business and keep it going. Cash flow is king, as it's said. And if you don't have cash flow, you really don't have a business. But once you do get your cash flow going, you have that process in place to have money coming through the door, then it's time to start building systems in your business. So to automate those systems, you free up your time and scale up your business. And because you're implementing systems and procedures, you're going to find that you're naturally building assets in your business. Now, assets add value so that if you ever want to pass your business on to family or sell to investors, you can certainly do that. And Amazon businesses are a hot commodity right now. So that's the 3 pillars of e-commerce success. We'd like you to share Saturday Morning Live with others if you would, if you find value in attending this. And I know that I see the same people attending again and again, week after week. So I know you're finding value in this. Would you please share it to others, others that may be considering starting an e-commerce business or any business at all, and they might just want to get introduced to the whole idea, or perhaps they're already selling on Amazon, selling e-commerce, and they'd like to not go it alone and join a wonderful community. Please share that. You can hit the share button down at the bottom right-hand corner of the post. And we do the weekly Feed the Beast challenge every week. So if you post a screenshot of your numbers, your sales numbers, or FBA shipping, or a shipping plan, anything like that, along with the hashtag Feed the Beast, you do that every week, especially on Friday, we select a winner for a piece of EBS swag. And this week's winner is, drum roll, here we go, it's Patricia Crawford Shelby. So congratulations, give her a little bit of love. And also thank you to those others who have participated this week, Aaron, Ed, Ejaz, Gina, Grace, Nicole, and Ruben. Thank you very much for participating in this. Okay, so you've been selling on Amazon. You've been selling arbitrage products on Amazon. And you've got that going, the generate cash flow and implement systems. You've got a process now, and you're thinking, hey, this is great. So what's next? What's beyond arbitrage? And that's what Candida and I are going to talk about here this morning. What's next beyond retail arbitrage? Candida, how long have you been doing arbitrage?
Started February of 2018, so just over 3 years.
And that's how you got started in Amazon.
Yes, that's how I got my start.
And you've sold other sourcing methods like print on demand, wholesale.
Yes.
And are you still doing arbitrage?
I'm still doing arbitrage. It's not as prevalent as it was in the beginning. Wholesale is kind of, the more prevalent stream. But I think it's really important to get one stream working really well. And then once that one's going, you start layering it.
Okay. And so you're doing arbitrage because it's low risk. You get a fast turnaround. It's easy to do.
It's easy to do.
Mm-hmm. And when you first started, if you were to compare it to jumping into wholesale, is arbitrage easier to start up your business with?
Arbitrage is easier to start up your business because you can either run to the store or go online and order some products. The products are all around us. It's just, putting in the time to find them. And so I enjoy arbitrage, but it was time to kind of scale my business some, and that's when wholesale came into play.
Now we're going to be talking about Candida's Ungating Mastermind in this call. And I just want you to know that Ungating, your mastermind, has elements of contacting wholesale suppliers. And so we're going to be talking about wholesale in this SML, in this today's session, and with this idea of, well, how do I get started with wholesale? And the Ungating Mastermind is the perfect way to get started with wholesale. You don't have to jump in and get a large investment. In fact, Candida, I think you're providing some wholesale suppliers where you can buy very small amounts and get ungated in particular brands and product categories.
Yes, that's correct. I actually give out some suppliers. And then the method I teach is, of course, we talk about going wide and not deep in arbitrage. And I teach that same method with the ungating wholesale piece.
And then the whole idea with wholesale is that you have items that you can buy again and again. They're replenishable.
Yes, that's the beauty of it.
Okay, so let's do a comparison between arbitrage and wholesale and talk about some of the pluses and minuses. With arbitrage sourcing, you're generally buying in small quantities. In fact, we often recommend that you just buy maybe 5 units. With wholesale sourcing, you can buy small quantities, but often you have to buy case lot quantities. So you might have to buy 12 or 24, which may not be appropriate for every product. And you may have some minimum order responsibilities or requirements, such as a $250 or $500 minimum order, even $5,000 or $10,000 minimum orders. I've seen that from some wholesale distributors. On arbitrage, you're only selling on existing listings. The product is already being sold on Amazon, which means we understand what the demand is for the product. We know what our competitors are. We know what the pricing is. We can see the history of the product. We have product reviews. With wholesale sourcing, yes, you can sell products that are already existing on Amazon, but it's an opportunity to sell products that are not yet on Amazon, not proven at all. And this takes some extra skills. How do you evaluate those products if they're not already on Amazon? You don't have any history. It takes additional skills to evaluate those products. With arbitrage sourcing, generally no advertising is needed. I know Candida teaches a technique for an all ASIN campaign, which is great. You don't have to do that for arbitrage. With wholesale sourcing, if you are selling brand new products that have never been on Amazon, so you're creating a brand new listing, you're probably going to have to advertise that. And an all ASIN campaign is not the kind of campaign that you want for that. So that means additional skill. You're going to have to learn how to do that if you're bringing new products to Amazon. Product research. You've all learned how to do that for arbitrage. It's a pretty straightforward process. Well, with wholesale sourcing, if you're looking at existing products, the product research is the same, but you have to do supplier research to find the suppliers to obtain the products from. And if you are putting up new listings, that means that that's further research that you have to do for your products. Arbitrage sourcing, you're often buying products at discounted rates, which means that you have larger margins. And wholesale, there's a term called keystone, which means that you're typically paying half of the retail selling price, the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So with arbitrage, you often have larger margins. Wholesale, you have some slimmer margins. And again, more capital is required because of the order size is generally larger. With arbitrage sourcing, there's faster turnaround. I mean, you can go to Walmart, to the clearance aisle and run down there, pick it up, and actually send it to FBA, get it in the shipment going that day if you wanted to. Where with wholesale sourcing, you have to learn how to open an account and research their products. And, there's quite a few steps to that. So, and also opening accounts. Candida, you teach this in Ungating.
I do. We actually work on that during the Ungating Mastermind. So I'm getting them ready so when they're out on their own opening up accounts, they have that confidence that's needed when it comes to wholesale.
Yes, and we're going to talk about the Amazon question. Did you have to deal with the Amazon question at the Dallas market?
Yes and no. I kind of had a little birdie tell me that, the Amazon word is kind of a bad word at Dallas market. And so I just didn't really mention it. It's kind of like, when talking to an attorney, you don't offer up anything, you only answer the questions with the specific answer when asked. So it's one of those things that you kind of get to sidestep.
We're going to talk a little bit more about the Amazon question in a moment. And by the way, if you have questions about any of this as we're talking, please put them in chat. Love to answer your questions. So I talked about replens, the idea of finding products that you could sell again and again. Well, that's the whole purpose of wholesale ordering, wholesalers, distributor ordering. You're looking for products that you can continually sell again and again. And one of the advantages is if you have the right distributor that is, let's just say, Amazon friendly, they'll often send your products themselves straight into Amazon's FBA warehouses. So this is an example of a product I used to sell. And I sold this product for probably about 1.5 to 2 years. These are called Magic Globes. You put them in the freezer and then they will take down inflammation on your face. So they're a beauty item. And I would sell maybe 25 to 50 units a month of this, month in and month out. There were 3 other competitors. We kind of all knew who each other were. We all kept about that same price that you see there. So we really weren't competing on price. Now, if you go look up this product, you'll find that there's, 15, 20 sellers of it. The price has declined some because of that. And so I don't sell this product any longer. But for a long time, I did. And that's the whole goal of wholesale ordering, that you can just have reorder again and again. With this supplier, I would just send them an email and I would send them the Amazon shipping plan, the documentation that goes along with that. And they would case pack this and send in several cases at a time to FBA. So it was easy for them. It was certainly easy for me. And this is what you're really looking to do with wholesale ordering. Finding wholesale suppliers and distributors. Going to trade shows are fun, aren't they? Going to market is fun.
I've had a blast.
This is a picture of the Natural Products Expo. It's got supplements, food, healthy care products, like yoga products, that type of thing, skincare stuff. And this is held twice a year, or at least it was prior to COVID, held twice a year, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. I've been to this trade show many times in Anaheim, California. We even went 2 years ago, right before COVID, to when it was held in Baltimore. And it's fun to go to trade shows, but you don't have to go to a trade show to find wholesale distributors. This is the exhibitor list that can be found on their website, and you can get the information. There we go. You can get the information for distributors just from their exhibitor list. And I think this is something, a technique that you teach in the Ungating Mastermind, isn't it?
Yes, we actually look at some of the different events that are out there, and we look at some of the exhibitors list, and I teach them how to kind of go down those rabbit trails.
So it's a great way that you can visit trade shows from home. There's also a bonus that comes with the Ungating Mastermind that teaches you how to do this. Here's the Amazon question. So we're looking for Amazon-friendly suppliers. And do you want to talk about this, Candida, why suppliers might say no?
Not everyone is Amazon friendly. Not everyone wants their products on Amazon. Some people just, they just don't understand maybe what it is we do or what we could do for their brand or those products. And so not everyone's Amazon friendly, and that's okay because there are plenty of suppliers that are. So again, Brian, I really do try not to get hung up on those that say no. And I'm really more focused on those that I can buy from. I want it to be a mutually beneficial relationship.
So here's some reasons why suppliers might say no. Yes, they might not want their products sold on Amazon, which is an opportunity if you're talking to a supplier to ask them why that is, and to find out maybe there's something that you can help them with as a professional Amazon seller. They may already have enough Amazon sellers already, just like those Magic Globes already do. And it doesn't serve them, nor does it serve me to sell that product when there's already quite a few sellers on it. Or they may sell on Amazon themselves. And in that case, there's probably nothing that you can do at all to sell that product. But the Amazon question is that thing where we feel sometimes that we're afraid to mention it because we'll be told no. And I know it's in the past, I used to sidestep the question. You had to sidestep it to get into the market. Is that correct?
Yes. So when I went to register for an account, I'd already been told, not to mention the A word, so to speak. And so that was okay. I had to take in my resale certificate. I had to have my state tax ID with me. And then they asked for a website. And so luckily for me, I have a few websites that I actually sell on. And so I was able to provide one and go in with no issue.
Now, in the Ungating Mastermind, you learn about the state resale permit. You learn about all the documentation that you need. You learn how to talk with wholesale suppliers. Is that true?
Yes. Wholesale is really business to business. And so there are some documents that are required in order to open up wholesale accounts. And so that's something we talk about early on. And we get those in place. And then once you have those in place, you're able to use those over and over as you continue to grow and open up more accounts.
Let's talk a little bit about ungating, getting ungated, and why is there restrictions on sellers for brands and for categories?
So when we open up our Amazon seller accounts, Amazon doesn't know who we are. They don't know if we're going to be good sellers. They don't know anything about us. So it's almost like paying our dues, so to speak. We have to build that trust with Amazon. And so part of that is by being a good seller and sending in products and getting positive feedback, not a lot of returns. Amazon has category restrictions, they have brand restrictions, and they have ASIN restrictions. So there's different levels of restrictions. And a lot of times we will see that with good seller metrics, when we request approval, it will say, congratulations, based on your performance, you can now sell this product. But sometimes, you want to speed that process up. And so in order to speed that process up, Amazon requires additional documentation to do that.
So if you're a brand new seller, let's go back to that. If you're a brand new seller, why is it that new sellers don't have the same ease of, let me rephrase that. Why is it that brands and categories are restricted more for new sellers than for experienced sellers?
It's just really about building trust with Amazon, knowing that we're sending in good products. The end goal is Amazon wants to protect its customers, and they want to know that we are sending in, legitimate products. They're not counterfeit. And so they just have those requirements in place that we kind of build our seller metrics with them and build that trust that we're doing the right thing as sellers.
So over time, you naturally build this credibility.
Yes. And over time, you will see, congratulations, you can now sell in this category, or, congratulations, you can now sell this product based on performance. So we do have performance metrics as sellers. And so a lot of times we see at the 6-month mark, categories are opening up for me, or, those brands are opening up. I've seen around the dollar metrics, certain, categories and brands open up. There's no rules out there that Amazon gives us, though, that we know what it is. And so it's just as sellers, we kind of see these trends over time.
And that's an automatic approval we're talking about, where you don't have to do anything. Amazon just says, hey, you have the credibility with us. You have enough experience. You've had enough sales. We're going to let you sell in this particular category, or we're going to let you sell that brand.
Yes.
Well, what can new sellers do to speed up that process?
New sellers can, when it's time to, if you continue to get these restrictions, Amazon's wanting documentation. And so they're looking for an invoice from a manufacturer or a distributor. And so you're able to get those accounts and provide that documentation. Or don't get focused on, if you don't have the paperwork, don't get focused on what you can't sell. Focus on what you can sell and continue sending that in and improving those seller metrics so you can get those auto approvals.
So if you did want to get an invoice to gain approval to sell that, and here on this screen, this is a Michael Kors watch, and the selling application here to gain approval says that watch is, let's jump here. There it is, selling application. At least one purchase invoice for products from a manufacturer or distributor, or a letter from Michael Kors authorizing you to sell their products. Are you likely to get that letter from Michael Kors?
Not usually. So usually the easiest route is to get that invoice from the manufacturer or a distributor.
And what's the difference between a distributor and a retail store?
A distributor is getting it probably from the manufacturer itself. And so a distributor is able to provide the invoice. And that's the magic here. We have to have an invoice. And we have to purchase a minimum of 10 units. A retail store is just that, it's a retail store. And so they give us a receipt. And so we have to have the invoice for Amazon purposes. They want to know that we're purchasing from a legit supplier.
I have a picture of the invoice on screen. Let's go back one slide here. Here's some of the other documentation. It's mentioning the invoice, at least one purchase invoice for products. And then there's more requirements here to get it right. How often or how strict is Amazon on what they're asking for here?
Very strict. Amazon has it here and literally in a check mark form. And so I teach kind of how to check this off and submit your invoice, because we want Amazon to approve our invoice. So, I really teach it. You want to just make it as easy for them to say yes as we can. But Brian, could you do me a favor and back up one more slide where we had the watch on it, because I just want to touch on something. So right here underneath the watch, it says selling application. And anytime you request approval, it takes you to the selling application page. And I know almost everyone just skips right over this page. They click that yellow request approval button to go to the actual selling application page. But I want everyone to take a minute, and I want you to look at that selling application page when you request approval. That's the page that tells you what the actual restrictions are. So you can see here that on this one, we need approval to sell in the watch category and in the Michael Kors brand. So this product actually has 2 levels of restrictions. So there's the entire category restriction and the brand. So it's very important to just slow down just a tad, look to see what those restrictions are so you know. Because if you get to the selling application page and it talks about documentation, then if you're a new seller, you know, okay, I'm restricted in the entire watch category. You're not going to spend any more time in that category right now if you don't have that documentation. You're also not going to spend any more time looking at Michael Kors if you can't produce the documentation. So this is for all of the new sellers out there. I want you to really look at that selling application page so you're really making good use of your time.
So there's 2 approvals that are needed here.
Yes.
Can you accomplish both at once?
Yes. And that's where that invoice comes into play. If we were able to provide an invoice for this product right here, that invoice would unlock the watch category and the brand. So that's a double whammy.
And this happens a lot in topicals.
Yes.
Right? That's gated. And in grocery.
Yes.
What other
and in toys.
And in what?
And in toys, the toy category. If you're restricted in the toy category and there's a brand there, then you can get that double approval there.
So when's the big toy selling season?
Oh, it's coming up. It's knocking at the door. Q4 is just a month away maybe.
Mm-hmm. And so we haven't gotten a letter this summer yet about toy requirements to sell in toys for the holiday selling season. Last year, there was a requirement. Do you recall what that was for toys?
Last year, if you were going to do merchant fulfilled toys during Q4, you had to send a minimum of 25 merchant fulfilled items during a certain time frame. And we just haven't seen that email come out this year.
Okay. So what is it? Is toys gated right now?
It can be for some sellers. We're seeing that the toy category is restricted in the Mastermind. But a lot of the big brands is really what's restricted in the toy category.
Okay. So if you're restricted in the toy category, you could do the double whammy, getting a brand and the category handled with what you teach in the Ungating Mastermind.
Absolutely.
All right. So here's an invoice. Do you want to talk about this a little more specifically?
So if you remember on the previous slide, there was that checklist. And so I think right here, the invoice needs to be dated within the last 180 days. So on the invoice, I actually highlight the date. So that way, and I check that mark. It includes the name and address that matches our seller account. So I put a square or highlight my address that's on file with Amazon. Include the name and address of the manufacturer. Up there in the top left corner, I've got a square around that. So all of those items that are in the checklist, I am highlighting for Amazon. So when the rep gets that, yep, they can go through their little checklist and everything meets the mark and they can hit that approval. I just want to make it as easy as I can for them and draw their eyes to what it is they've requested.
Okay, so it's a very specific thing that you're doing here.
Yes.
Very specific process. How often does Amazon reject the application?
It happens. It's Amazon, and so you never know what's going to happen, but it does happen. And if it happens, then we have steps in place that I teach on how to, continue through the process. So just because one application was rejected, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a no.
And Elizabeth's asking, how do you get an invoice?
So an invoice comes from purchasing from a distributor or a manufacturer, a company that actually provides an invoice. And it literally needs to say the word invoice on it. And in this picture on the screen here, you can see the invoice in large font at the very top. It says invoice. And so an invoice actually needs to say that word, and a receipt is just not that. So you cannot go to Walmart and buy 10 of something and provide your receipt. It's just not going to work.
So how do you find these distributors? And I know that in Ungating, you're going to provide some of these distributors.
You can always, do a Google search. You can, you talked about the trade shows a minute ago. That's kind of, one way to go down the rabbit trail. It's really just about spending time and doing your research. They're out there for us to find. We just have to put some time in and look for them.
I want to tell you that it's not a simple process. Finding wholesale suppliers takes work.
And time.
And time. You've got to reach out and contact and contact and contact. And you don't want to necessarily have accounts with every supplier because their products don't make sense for selling on Amazon. So it takes time and effort to do this. But in Ungating, what are you providing?
I kind of help speed up the process. I actually do provide some tried and true tested distributors that I know that I have personally used or that, members have used to get ungated. And so it's definitely a quick way to get going and get some of these categories and brands opened up on the accounts.
And you have a trusted supplier for toys?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Actually, too.
Q4 is coming. That's that holiday selling season. Okay, so let's talk about the Ungating and Brand Expansion Mastermind here. I'll just read off the bullet points. And by the way, if you've taken the Ungating Mastermind and found some value in it, would you go ahead and put something in chat just about Candida or the Mastermind, or give her some love, please? I know that Erin did already in there. I really appreciate that. So you'll discover the secrets of brand ungating, and you'll be able to expand your Amazon business with popular in-demand brands and products that are unavailable to other sellers. This is a big reason to take this. If you find that there's a lot of products that you can't sell because you're not approved to sell them, this is the way to learn how to gain that approval to sell these products. Candida, I see that in the special mastermind group just for your Ungating members, that they'll often put how many brands they've gotten approved for. And it might look like 200 or 300 brands.
Yes. Part of the mastermind is I give them a Google sheet that has over 600 different brands on it to really get them into the habit of requesting auto approvals, because auto approvals, we need to get all the approvals we can get, and for free. And so I give them a list to go through, and there's over 600, and they have found that exercise very helpful. Not only is it helpful, but it has really opened up a lot of categories and brands for them.
And also it's that act of creating more credibility with Amazon. You have more brands that you can sell. How is it? Money makes money. Well, brands brings on more brands, that kind of thing. As we showed you with the invoice, you'll learn the exact documents Amazon wants you to send to speed through your approval process, and exactly the way that Amazon wants those documents. And if Amazon doesn't accept those documents, then how to resend them in, how to adjust them, all those tricks that you've learned over time. How about the trouble brands? Any stories about that?
Well, a lot of us use AZ Insight. And we're looking for those IPs. So there's no need to spend money to get ungated in something if you're just going to have the IP complaints. And so it's still important to do our due diligence when we're getting ungated. We don't want to, buy 10 from a distributor if we're just going to have to turn around and fight an IP claim. So all of that still comes into play, and we actually talk about some of the brands that just really aren't worth getting ungated in.
This is one of the reasons to join it, is because you become part of the Mastermind community. And it's a special group just for Ungating Mastermind members. And you can ask that question, hey, I want to sell so-and-so or such and such, this particular brand. And I see that there's an IP alert. Is this something I have to be concerned about? And you can use the group experience to help guide you on these kinds of questions. Learn which brand distributors are recognized by Amazon for easy brand Ungating. And of course, those you're giving specifically within the course. Discover which brands to use to unlock product categories, the same thing there. Discover hidden online lists with direct phone lines to thousands of name brand product manufacturers and distributors. So this is limited to just 12 members in the Mastermind sessions. It starts September 9th. And if you're interested in this, you should know that there's only 5 seats remaining as of last night. So it's starting September 9th. There's only 5 seats left out of the 12 for it. There's 3 bonuses that come with this. Wholesale sourcing from home. That has strategies to find suppliers online. So it's a recorded training that I did quite some time ago. And I think it's actually very, very good training. How to access thousands of wholesale suppliers, how to reach the right supplier rep without any introduction. Bonus number 2 is Coach Kurt's online arbitrage bundle strategy, how to eliminate competition and dominate the buy box. And arbitrage is really a great tool for bundles because you can find this variety of products to put bundles together with. That's what he's talking about in there. And of course, then if your bundle really takes off, you're going to want to buy them in volume, which is where wholesale can really help you with that. Bonus number 3, gaining a competitive edge with wholesale sourcing. This is from Coach Tim Coyle, in which he goes through Amazon.com to help you find the names of distributors and suppliers that are already being, they're Amazon friendly. We know that because they're already on Amazon. So it's a great technique that he does there. $12.97 for this. Again, 5 seats remaining. Candida, is there anything you'd like to add to this?
No, I mean, I think even if you're new, there's a lot of information that, you can gain from this. I'm looking at some of the students that have taken this before. And Ronnie Palmer said, it's a must take for building a successful business. I found that the skills I've learned will be used over and over again. And so there are a lot of skills that are, that you can take with you as you continue your Amazon journey. It is a mastermind. And so my style is we do about 30 minutes of training, but then we talk about it and we talk through it and we work through it because it is a mastermind. So it's not one where I'm just talking to you for an hour by any means, because I really want to work with you and help you grow your business. That's what it's all about.
Thank you very much, Valerie and Troy and Aaron and Derry and George and Tia, Ed. There's Ronnie again, Valerie, everybody's saying, giving kudos to the Ungating Mastermind. There's a couple of questions here. Gina is asking, when you get the invoice, do you have to ask them if you can, in fact, sell their product on Amazon first?
I think that conversation is actually had when you're opening up the account, not when you're purchasing it. So if there's any, red flags there, it would have already occurred before opening the account happened. So once I have my account, then that's usually my green light to go ahead and order and get going.
Alistair is saying, I have requested brand approvals, but have been asked to take some class through Seller University. Do I have to do this or keep requesting for approvals?
I'd say always request approval, but it sure doesn't hurt to go through Seller University either. But always request approval. You never know when you're going to get that magic. Congratulations, you can sell this product, and then you do the happy dance, even if you're in the store. It's always good to see that congratulations note from Amazon when you request approval.
And of course, that Amazon seller class it's like a 5-minute video, isn't it? It's a very short video.
Yes.
Yeah. It's basically just telling you pretty much what we've already said here, that you have some requirements that for these particular brands or categories. If you take the Ungating class, you're actually going to learn how to get that done. And that's the important thing, where Amazon doesn't tell you how to get it done. They just tell you what's required.
Selena is asking, what is the schedule for the mastermind? Selena, it's actually going to be Thursday mornings. They are an hour long and they are recorded. So if you are unable to catch the call live, then you will be able to catch the recording.
Dan Moose says, great class, changed my business for the better. Okay, so anything else that you'd like to add, Candida, to this?
No, I don't think so. I just want everyone to keep requesting approvals. Look at the selling application page. Please take a moment, look to see what your restrictions are, and be consistent in your business. That's really how we grow our Amazon business. Be consistent, and whatever it is you're doing, have confidence in it. Because if we don't have confidence in ourselves, how are they going to have confidence in us? And so when it comes to wholesale, have confidence when you're reaching out to vendors, because that's what it all comes down to.
And you're going to gain that confidence if you take the Ungating Mastermind with Candida. There's a link on the screen, joinebs.com/ungating. It's also in the post, and I see that Loretto just put it in there as well. One last question here. Megan's asking, I see that Amazon sells items wholesale. Is it possible to FBA B2B?
I would be careful with that. I mean, it really depends on how you buy it, because there are some issues or some words in the terms of service about buying from Amazon and flipping on Amazon. So you have to just be very careful how you go about that. There are ways to do it. You just want to be careful and make sure you're not breaking terms of service.
That's right. Okay. Thank you, Candida. Let's talk a little bit about the community here. This is from a live event in Minneapolis. You're probably in here. Are you at this event? I know I was. I'm there in the back somewhere.
I'm somewhere in this event.
We have a great group of people in our community. You can see the friendly faces that have turned out here for one of the live events. Hopefully we'll be doing live events again. If you want to learn more about us, if you're brand new to e-commerce business school, go to joinebs.com. You'll find some training there. You'll find success stories. You'll learn that hustle and heart is what sets us apart. We're truly a giving and sharing community. There's our homepage right there where you can get a free 20-minute training and learn more about selling on Amazon. So thank you again, Candida. Thank you, everybody that is attending today. We've had quite a good group here. And just know that there is life beyond arbitrage. Arbitrage is great. I still do arbitrage, by the way. And I've been selling on Amazon for, I think it's 12 years now. I've lost track. I still do arbitrage because I just can't turn down those great opportunities when they pop up for me. So thank you, everybody, for participating in Saturday Morning Live. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.